back with another video. Today we're opening up something not new, but very unique. Well, these days. Maybe not so much back in the day. So let's just get right into it. We'll go ahead and open up the package. And it's from eBay. I got an eBay gift card for Christmas, and I bought some things with it. So, here we go. Not your typical unboxing, but if you've seen the title, then you already know what it is. But anyway. Alright, I'm trying not to show. Oh, there's no address there. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. So first thing in the box is kind of hard to do this upside down. College football. EA Sports. Bill Wash college football. From Electronic Arts. Ooh, look at that. That's taking it back. Look at that. So that should give you a hint, other than looking at the title of it, or the title of the video. And then we've got EA Sports Madden Nfl 94, also by Electronic Arts, obviously, it's in the name. So, interesting. Then we've got NFL 95 on Genesis. So, that kind of gave it away as to what this is. But yes. And then we've got, was it Troy Aikman football, NFL football. You can tell this is back before Madden was like the game for football, or for football games. It was the brand for football games. This is before all that, so there's a bunch of different brands. And then we've got EA Sports NHL 94. Yeah, I'm really gonna play that game. Jeez. Hockey. Sorry if you like hockey, I don't understand it. I don't understand the hype. To me, it's a boring sport, but I've never been to a game, so what do I know? So, also in this box are some AV cables. Okay. Get some of this stuff out of the way. And then we've got the most important part of the whole package. Is looks to be in pretty good condition. I grew up with this system, the Sega Genesis 3. I don't have the original one I grew up with. I think my dad has it in storage somewhere. So, I bought a slightly used one on eBay for $29 with all these games. And I must say, I bought this because of how clean it looked in the picture, and it looks just as clean in person. So, the Sega Genesis 3, why am I even making this video? It's for one, nostalgic. Straight up nostalgic. We had a Sega in the house before we had a Nintendo. That's just what my dad that's just what my dad picked back in the days. Back in the good old days. And so, the Sega Genesis 3 is the third revision of the Sega Genesis. That's why it's 3, obviously. The difference between the Sega Genesis and then the Sega Genesis 2, I don't know what they called the second one, I forget. And then the 3 was, the first 2 were made by Sega. The third one was not. The third one was licensed by Sega. But it was the cheap alternative to the other 2. So, and I'll get more into the history here in a second, but there's one of the controllers, which also in good condition, and I've always liked how comfortable the Sega Genesis controllers are. They're really comfortable. So, there's that. I believe there's one more. Maybe not. Maybe it'll only came with one. No big deal. I don't care. Chances are I have a second controller somewhere. But so I do not know if the system works. He said it did in the ad. I have not tried it, so I guess I will have to do that at some point. But yeah. So the history of the Genesis 3 was the cheapest version of the Genesis, and Sega, as well as Nintendo, were one of the first companies to start doing revisions of the systems. You know, a lot of people think PlayStation was first, but they weren't. But yeah, this was the budget of the Genesis 3. In fact, and let me look up the price real quick, and I can tell you. Okay, so the Sega Genesis is known as the Mega Drive in regions outside of North America. It was a 16-bit home video game system sold by Sega, obviously. So listen to this. So it says here, as a result of piracy in some countries and unlicensed development issues, Sega incorporated a technical protection mechanism into the new edition of the Genesis released in 1990, referred to as the Genesis 3. So that's also why this was created. The new variation of the Genesis included a code known as the Trademark Security System, which, when a game cartridge was inserted, would check for the presence of the string Sega at a particular point in the memory contained in the cartridge. If the string was present, the console would run the game and would briefly display the message produced by or under license from Sega Enterprises Limited, which you see at the beginning of games like Sonic. I've noticed that. I thought it was just all part of it. I didn't realize that was is this a real game or is this piracy check? But it was. Had no idea until just now. The system had a twofold effect. It added extra protection against unlicensed developers and software piracy, and forced the Sega trademark to display when the game was powered up, making a lawsuit for trademark infringement possible if unlicensed software were to be developed. Very interesting. Listen to this. The Genesis 3 console is a bargain basement model of the Sega Mega Drive, also known as Sega Genesis in North America, that was sold under license by Majesco in 1998. 1998. So this system is newer than I thought, first of all. I could have sworn this was made before 1998, but apparently not. I thought it was made in like 1994, but I guess. So anyway, 1998, I had the N64. So that means we had a Sega Genesis 2 growing up, and then a 3 later. Why did Dad get the 3? This is the one I remember the most because of this number 3. I forget why he... Now that I think about it, because my dad had 6 kids, now that I think... My voice is going out, sorry. But my dad had 6 kids growing up. And I remember now, because there's only 2 controllers, because there's only 2 controllers on the front, and 6 kids, there's a lot of waiting, to play the game. So what Dad ended up doing is he ended up having 2 Segas in the house. This one was new. I remember him getting this new from Majesco, or probably a pawn shop, but still. I remember him bringing home a Genesis. I'm thinking, why do we have one? We already have a Genesis. But it's because that way we could have more turns, longer times to play, since there were 6 kids in one system at the time. So we had a Genesis 2 upstairs and the Genesis 3 in the basement on the better TV. He also had a PlayStation in my room, pretty sure, as well as a PlayStation in his room. Yeah, I had the PS1. He had the original PSX. So yeah. It is often diversely called the hockey puck due to its rather squat appearance and limited capabilities. It is small, and this was cheaper for Dad. This is why he bought this one. That way all the kids could play something. So we would have the PlayStation X, the PSX going 2 people. This had 2 people, and the Genesis 2 had 2 people. So that's why he did it. He was, he was parenting the best he could, and so that's great. So this, okay, he must have bought a new. Let's see. No official variants of the Genesis 3 were released outside of North America, as Majesco did not have the rights to sell Sega consoles outside that region. This originally retailed for $50, $49.95. And then the price dropped quickly to $19.99. My dad probably got this for $20 brand new. That's hilarious. And what's funny is I paid $30 for this used years later, but you know what? It's a piece of history. I'm glad I have it. I really am. And the Genesis 3 lacks the expansion port. It's just a very slimmed down console. That's all it is. And so shout out to Sega Majesco, because at most my dad paid $50 and at least he paid $20. So anyway, that's a little bit of history of the Sega Genesis 3. Now you know, and I'm just glad to have it back in my collection. So thanks for watching, guys. I will say one more thing. I have Michael Jackson's Moonwalker for Genesis, which does work, and it's worth a lot of money. Because I have the case, the original case, and the game, and the booklet. I found it at a yard sale for $1, and they go on eBay for at least $100. So anyway, thanks for watching. My voice is giving out, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.